welcome to the Mother's Edition of A Little Perspective. I am super excited to have you here and really thrilled to be interviewing my friend Rita Green. Rita is a powerhouse and she's always been an amazing woman and mother. And last year she had to really overcome some obstacles, and I just cannot wait to talk to her about her experiences and pass on some advice to some of you to be able to pivot, which I know we're all tired of that word, but that is what she did. So thank you so much, Rita, for being here with me today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. It's good seeing you.
You too. I know we haven't seen each other in person in so long. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Rita M. Green. I am a former corporate employee who went from the boardroom to the bedroom by transitioning from a 9 to 5 into having my own business. I have 4 children, ages 13, 12, 4, and 2. So, needless to say, my life is never boring. I'm married, which is always a job, but it's one of the best positions I think I've held by far, next to being a mom. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. I mean, of course, there's more to the story, always, but in a nutshell, that's Rita.
Always. I love that, from the boardroom to the bedroom. That is, I love, love, love that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about being a mom? Because, that when we are a mom, that's our first job. That's our big job. And it's also the job we don't get paid for. So tell me about being a mom of 4 kids from ages from 14 to, what did you say, 6?
13 to 2.
13. Oh, I missed that up big time. Yeah, yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So with my kids, I was the type of girl that was career driven, very ambitious, didn't even think I'd have kids, honestly. I never saw myself as a mom, even though I was mothered very, very well. It's just, you never see yourself as a mom. You want to be free as long as you can. You're living the life, living the high life, but God had other plans for me. And because He had those plans, I think that I received the best blessing of all, and that was having my kids. Again, ages 13, 12, 4, and 2. And I wouldn't ask for anything else but my children. My children have been solace in my life. My children have been the firm foundation that I've needed to get up every day. Sometimes when I feel like I want to give up, sometimes when I feel like I can't push forward or things don't matter anymore, I take a look at my kids. When you look at your kids, you see your legacy, you see something that God decided to keep going. Sometimes you might think that you're not enough, but you look at those kids because those kids are proof that you were such enough that somebody wanted to create another one of you. And that's how I see my kids. They're a constant reminder that I'm meant to be here. They're a constant reminder that I have mission work to do and that they also have something to do. So I'm blessed that I was given the 4 kids that I was given. It doesn't matter if, their names were somebody different or if they weren't who they were, whoever they would have been, and whoever they are or who they were meant to be for me. And I'm just honored and blessed that I was chosen to be their mom.
That's so wonderful. The being a mom is hard. Being a mom of that many kids, it's got to be really hard. I mean, I have 3, and a 2-year-old. God, I can't even imagine a
It's an
2-year-old.
adjustment. It's an adjustment. I drink a lot more wine now than I used to. Trust me. Trust me.
Oh man, and I bet that baby is spoiled rotten.
He's a doll. He's a doll. A lot of people say he's my twin, and he comes and gives me cuddle hugs. His nickname is Chunky Thunder Muffin. I mean, he is just amazing, and he's exactly what I needed at that time in life. My husband and I tried for 4 years to have children, and we lost 4 babies consecutively from 2012 all the way to 2015.
Oh, wow.
So the last 2 that came were such a blessing. They came back to back, just like my oldest 2. They came back to back. So I mean, it's just love all in the house. It's just magic. It's love. It's never a dull moment. There's a lot of screaming. I'm hoarse on a lot of days out the week. Okay, the wine has to be refilled on a regular. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And, I know when they fly the coop and they leave the nest that it's going to be very, very, um, very, very
Bittersweet.
eye-opening for me
Oh,
because they're such a part of my daily routine. Their little laughs, they're running down the hall. Um, all of that just makes my day. So I'm interesting to see how I will pivot or transform once they leave the coop.
you are really not that far off from the first step of that, at least, assuming they want to go to college or what have you. You're not that far off from that. My oldest is just turned 12, and I've started to think about that, like, what's it going to be like with her not in the house? And then your mind goes to like no kids in the house, and it's like, woof, I'm not going to think about that right now, because that is,
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
that is a lot to think about. So you had a few miscarriages, and I can relate to that. We struggled as well, and had one before Aiden, and then in between each one, and then after Malika. So and that's hard. It's really really hard, especially when you're trying. We did IUI. We did some fertility stuff and didn't have any luck with it. Aiden was a very big surprise, but obviously a wonderful surprise. I went to the doctor because I thought I was sick, and I was, but I didn't know, the thought that I was pregnant didn't even enter my mind. So, what advice would you give to someone who is going through something like that, who's trying and just keeps having these issues, these fertility issues, these miscarriages and such?
Go through the process. Go through the process and allow your feelings to be your feelings. Don't be upset that you're numb. Don't be upset that you're sad. Don't be upset that you're out of sorts. Don't be surprised that you're going to go through so many different emotions when it comes to grief. I mean, there's some major grief coaches out there to let you know there's several steps to this thing, and it applies when you lose babies. Regardless of what month, what trimester, you were in, it's still going to hurt all the same. With my first one, I was totally shocked, had never went through that. And I was completely caught off guard. Like, what? This happens, And I found out that I wasn't the only one. My mother had one in her youth. Um, so it was normal, but not to me because it was something brand new that I had never experienced before. And I was very, very sad. The second one that came the following year, not even maybe 6 months later, the second one that came was just a blow. It was a tremendous blow, and I was completely numb. But I allowed myself to be numb. I allowed myself to cry. I allowed myself to be not okay. I allowed myself to call into work and say, I need a mental health day and I'm taking it. I allowed myself to go through the emotions. By time number 3, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So this is what's going on right now. But the way I started to work through that one, when it came time to number 3, I started to tell myself, okay, so they're not supposed to be here. God has a plan for this world, and sometimes people don't get through, and it wasn't supposed to be here. Okay. By the time the fourth one happened, I kind of expected it. I was looking forward to it, and I didn't get excited about being pregnant because I was like, I'm not going to get excited just in case I lose this one. And I had already came to the understanding that if I lost that one, again, that one wasn't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So when I got pregnant with Mason, my now 4-year-old, and let me tell you, he's like all of those absorbed into one. I'm telling you. He's like, I'm bringing all of y'all back with me and I'm going. We're going to make it. Okay. But when I had Mason, I got pregnant with Mason. I lost my great grandmother right before her 102nd birthday.
Oh, wow.
I'm from the South. We got these old sayings, one goes in, one goes out. And I didn't want to lose him because I had just lost her. And I didn't know how I would be able to deal with that, 2 losses. So I prayed and I was like, it's your will. But if this baby is meant to be here, I give him to you. And I ask that you touch him and bless this pregnancy, please. Because I don't know how I'm going to cope, And he made it. He made it. He was supposed to be here. My prayers may or may not have had anything to do with it. At the end of the day, it's God's plan, but he made it.
Yeah.
So regardless of anyone that's going through a loss, whether it's your first or your 15th, it doesn't matter. You deal with it the way you want to deal with it. You don't apologize for being upset. And you just keep on trucking along and know that maybe they just weren't supposed to be here just this time, just right now.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. I'm a big believer in feeling your feelings. And I also found that, like you said, it is normal, which I had no idea was. It didn't necessarily catch me by surprise because we had fertility issues. Um, but at the same time, the first one was like, I got excited when we were pregnant and didn't think that it was, I didn't think it was going to end up in that. But then again, I wasn't, I guess, fully surprised. Sorry, excuse me, my nose. But once I started to talk about it, then with others, then I realized that a lot of people, this happens to a lot of people. This is not abnormal. And talking about things often helps you to process and to feel better. And I'm glad that we're kind of getting to a place where it's not, people didn't want to talk about it before because it makes other people uncomfortable. Because it's a painful situation, and you don't know what to say. Like, there isn't, but it's okay to not know what to say. You don't have to know what to say. And so encouraging people to talk about it with with their people, with their circle, with a professional if needed. And even share, some people share on Facebook, and there's value in that if done the right way, because people can see, oh, this happens to her, she got through it, and then you can find someone to talk with. So I'm glad that you said, it is normal. It doesn't make it any easier, so to speak, but it allows you to have more room to process it in. So feeling your feelings is important, whatever they are. So tell us about feeling your feelings last year.
I felt like God shut the world down for me. I really did. I felt like I was in such a transitional stage already that I needed the push. I was at a job for 5 years, and I got a phone call that my entire department, along with staff, was going to be let go due to, of course, the coronavirus pandemic. And I wasn't that upset. I was already trying to find a way to transition into what my purpose was. Starting a business, of course, has always been in the back of my mind. I've started several before, have failed, which is a good thing because I've learned from those failures. But with this one, it's really holding tried and true, and my cup runneth over. So I'm doing the right thing and I'm on the right course. But with that being said, it wasn't a hard transition for me at all because I had always felt as if I was supposed to be running my own show. Do I feel like I'm all the way in my purpose just yet? Absolutely not. Like Eartha Kitt said, let my tombstone be my diploma. I am nowhere near learning what it is that I'm supposed to learn while here on this earth. And I'm nowhere near to the point of helping people the way that I know I'm supposed to be helping them. I think right now I'm in a position of God transforming me as a person professionally and as an entrepreneur, thanks to COVID-19. And then with that, I'll be able to help others in a more impactful way.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that. I have been in positions before where I was forced out and knew that, okay, this is meant to be, this was how it was supposed to go. But I'm glad that you were able to have that perspective immediately. And because that's not always the case. Sometimes there's the stages of grief and all that. So tell us about your business. What is it that you do now?
Absolutely. So, my business is a boutique digital marketing and project management firm. We pretty much come in as a second pair of hands to help businesses and coaches and entrepreneurs get things handled and get things done, period. Everything from social media management to advertising digitally, from again, project management to helping people with those projects that they want to get done. And like, um, everything you can think of. I mean, we've taken on research projects, we've taken on such campaigns that I never thought I'd be a part of with networks and things like that. Um, so if anybody needs a second pair of hands, that's what we're here for. When I first came out, I was on this virtual assistant bandwagon thinking, oh, well, it's a virtual assistant is what I am because I have all these skills to offer. So let me go ahead and offer my services as a virtual assistant. Virtual assistants are great, especially if you're interested in part-time work. If you have a certain set of skills and you want to make some extra money on the side or just work with one person, that's great. But I knew that my calling was a little bit bigger. I knew that I needed to help people on a bigger scale, and I know that I needed to help people, by employing extra people, and I couldn't just do that as a VA. So that's why I'm so excited to be a chief visionary officer of my business by employing other people that have skills and corporate backgrounds to enable them to leave their 9 to 5 if that's what they want to do. By any means, I'm not telling anybody to leave their 9 to 5, honey. If your 9 to 5 can sponsor your dream, let it do it. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if that's the step you want to take and you want to move out on your own, the sky's the limit. So you might as well reach for space.
Oh, I love that. The sky's the limit, so you might as well reach for space. And, you do an outstanding job. I've been involved in projects that you have facilitated and managed, and just top notch. I worked with you when you were in the corporate world, and of course, you were top notch there as well. So it's certainly no surprise.
God be the
Entrepreneurship,
glory. Thank you.
yes. Entrepreneurship is hard. Motherhood is hard. How do you balance these two?
Honestly, it's not a cakewalk. There is some definite planning that has to go in place. I'm up on the computer 7 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes I don't shut it down to 2 a.m. So even though I left a 40-hour, 50-hour a week job, I'm now like at 100 and plus, hour a week job. When you put it like that, I definitely have help. It's important to have a support system. Mine is my husband, but even if, those that don't have a significant other, you find your family, you find your friends, you take a day a week, even if you just need one day to work on your business. That was very important for me to have that support system so that I could dedicate some time to my business. When I first started, I had so much free time because I didn't have any clients. I was still trying to pick and pull and find my way. And now I don't have any free time for myself. I'm talking, I take a bath in the middle of the day just so I don't have to be disturbed in the middle of the evening because I've got 4 people coming in the bathroom invading my space.
Mm-hmm.
5 if you count the husband, okay? And 6 with the cat.
I was going to say, and an animal, I'm sure.
Right, 6 with the cat. He's got his paws up there like, what's going on in here? I'm minding my business. I'm minding my business. But yeah, you definitely have to just make the time. It's not about finding the time, it's about making the time. There's 24 hours in the day. And I know people don't like when you say, we all have the same 24 hours. Well, everybody's 24 hours doesn't look the same. So you just make sure that you take those 24 hours and work those 24 hours to your advantage. If you have the time block, that's something that you can do. If you have to put lunch on a schedule, if you have to put intimate time on the schedule, whatever you have to do, put it on the schedule, stick to your schedule and protect your time, because then you'll protect your peace.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Protect your time and you can protect your peace. And your peace is vital for both your business and as a wife, as a mother, as all the roles that we play. And I love that the bath time during the day, I meditate during the day because that's the only time that I can. Like if I try to do it, and I'm like you, I get up, I start working when I get up, and I, work late, and it is more hours than a corporate job, but man, it doesn't feel like it, because we're doing what we love. But it is so important to make that time for self-care, for personal time, wherever it is. And I put mine on my calendar. Like it is on my calendar because if first of all, it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist no matter what it is. But
right. That's a t-shirt.
But it's important. And as women, we feel like we can do all the things because we can. Like we're super women, we're amazing. But I like how you pointed out, find your village, find your people and use them. We are so hesitant to ask for help because we don't want to bother anybody, but you have to look at what benefits you're providing for other people by doing so. All the people that you help, Rita, the way that you speak about your destiny to serve and such, if you didn't allow or rely on your husband or others to kind of fill in the gaps, then you wouldn't be able to serve the people that you're destined to serve. And then it's the same with anyone. So I'm always telling my clients, like, let people help you. And I'm telling myself that too. Like I'm not doing that either. You know, it's hard because we're used to just doing. So um so tell us how people can connect with you and your business.
Absolutely. So I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Go Fig, and I'm a little Creole girl. So Go is GEAUX, FIG, Fig, just like the fig tree. My website is gofig.com. You can email me at Rita at gofig.com. And again, I'm on all social platforms as GoFig.
Can I ask where Fig came from?
Yes, everybody asks that question. So fig came from my great grandmother. My grandmother had a fig tree in the backyard, and whenever I was in the backyard, I would always eat from that fig tree. You barely see them around now down here in Biloxi, Mississippi, but I mean, we had a big one in the backyard, and it was just so relaxing and peaceful under that fig tree. The reason why I added go as well is because every time I figure out something that I probably should have known the answer to all along, I'm like, go figure. We find ourselves saying that all the time. So that's where Go Fig came from.
That is amazing. Oh, I love that. My grandpa had a fig tree, a big old fig tree in his backyard too. And so I really love that because, man, those memories with the grandparents are just priceless.
Yeah.
Just priceless. Oh, that's wonderful. So anything else that you want to cover? Did I miss anything? Any last you've given us so many jewels here, so any other pieces of advice that you'd like to leave for us?
Oh, no. I mean, you keep doing your thing. I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you. I see God doing great things in your life. So I'm looking forward to what's next because this is not it. It's just the beginning. And anyone else out there, all you have to do is take the first step. He'll meet you halfway. He really will. He'll push you two more steps, even when you don't feel like you can. So
Mm-hmm.
just trust and believe God is almighty and anything can happen out of any way.
Oh, thank you so much. I just adore you, and I cannot wait to see you again sometime soon.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, thank you again for your time. This was, like I said, this was just full of wonderful pieces of advice. So, if any of you have any questions for Miss Rita, then leave them in the comments. We will have her Facebook page and contact info in the comments as well. And reach out to her because she is all around gal. She can help you with anything. If you're an entrepreneur, you need help. So we talked about moms needing help. If you're an entrepreneur, you need help too. And I know it feels like you can't afford it, but again, just like with motherhood, if you allow people to help you, then you can help more people. With entrepreneurship, if you allow people to help you, you can help more people. So and Rita's your gal for sure. Like I said, I've worked with her and she's top notch. So thank you again, Rita. Kiss those babies and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You kiss those babies too.
Yes, ma'am. Bye, y'all.